on the line. If in case you would like to ask 1-2 questions to Mr. Raman, because it is not easy to get his time and to get his attention, you are fortunate enough that he has given us this time. So please feel free to ask your queries to understand his perspective for about a minute or two. Please go ahead. Okay, if there are no, I would say, questions to Mr. Ramanan, once again, thank you very much, Mr. Ramanan. It's a pleasure and honor to host you and to hear from you. Great, thank you very much.
Thank you so much. And I really want to acknowledge the fact that you are driving these discussions and deliberations and dialogues. This is so very important, and I greatly appreciate the opportunity for being able to share a few thoughts. And I'm available for answering any questions later on, or if anybody wants to know a little more about what is happening in this part of the world, I'm more than happy to share that information.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ramanan. Now, while we move to the next speaker, it is a very interesting, I would say, a profile of the speaker that I'm going to present right now. And I'm sure he is bringing the perspective from a very, very, I would say, different, industry, which all of us are very keen to listen from, especially post-COVID, and then the repercussions and then the recoveries, the role of this particular industry, and then the role of this particular, I would say, the ecosystem is going to play a very, very significant role in terms of sustainability. So to talk upon the topic of driving the future of healthcare sustainability, let me invite Dr. Chandran Vinod Kumar, Group Head, Supply Chain Management, Jahangir Hospitals, India. Before I call upon the dais, let me have the opportunity of introducing him. Dr. Vinod is a PhD scholar and a postgraduate in hospital management from Apollo Hospitals, Chennai. He is also a postgraduate in business management from Institute of Management Technology, Ghaziabad. He has acquired postgraduate qualifications in medical law and ethics, also in materials management and labor laws with administrative laws. He is well trained in health technology assessments from AIMS, Lean and Six Sigma in healthcare from IHMR University, and implemented several projects to his accord. He is also trained in comprehensive disaster management and risk management from National Institute of Disaster Management, New Delhi. With so many accomplishments and accolades under his belt, without wasting much time, let me invite Dr. Chandran Vinod Kumar, Group Head, Supply Chain Management, Jahangir Hospitals, India, to share his views on the given topic. Welcome, Dr. Vinod. The stage is yours. Thank you very much.
Am I audible now?
You are, yes.
Good day to everyone. It is a great privilege for me to be a part of this wonderful event. And I thank Mr. Sandosh for providing me an opportunity to deliver a talk on healthcare sustainability. Here, I'm going to share my experience, views, and deliver a talk on the topic, the driving the future of healthcare sustainability from Indian perspective. In healthcare, sustainable development is the need of the hour. And the healthcare industry is under tremendous pressure for various reasons. The revenues are declining, middle costs and manpower costs are increasing day by day. And when we look at our operating margins, it can confirm this problem. The two major challenges faced in healthcare are the high cost of treatment surgical procedures due to high expensive medical devices and the impact of huge medical waste generated daily. After use, these devices are incinerated that causes greenhouse gas emissions. If they are not incinerated, they are dumped into the empty lands. Even if it is left to decompose on its own, it affects land and soil quality. If this blood and body fluids, in case if tend to mix with water due to rains or flooding, it may affect the entire community in terms of communicable diseases, affecting the society apart from the water pollution. To produce more devices, as the consumption rate would be very high, which may result in more production of this medical devices, and that results in depending on the raw materials which are all obtained from the as a byproduct from the petroleum refining. This results in destroying the ecosystem wherever the exploration happens. It is estimated that the healthcare services are responsible for 4.4% greenhouse gas emissions. Climate change has a direct and increasingly damaging impact on both the health of the communities as well as the delivery of the healthcare. Healthcare organizations hold a unique responsibility to provide safe quality care that not only protects but also enhances the health potential of their communities. An ideal sustainable climate resilient approach in healthcare should address all the three sustainability aspects that constitutes the triple bottom line of any organization: social responsibility, economic responsibility, environmental responsibility, to achieve the triple aim goals. The triple aim goals in healthcare are the better health, better care, and the lower cost. Out of the 17 sustainable development goals, there are 7 that are most relevant to the healthcare, which can make a huge, significant impact, positive impact. And the institutions that can adapt the relevant SDGs to contribute to the 2030 Global Agenda for Sustainable Development. These 7 goals are good health and well-being, quality education, affordable and clean energy, decent growth and economic growth, industry innovation and infrastructure, responsible consumption and production, peace, justice, and strong institutions. There are 5 pillars of sustainability in healthcare. One is the patients, people, public, planet, and the organization. Patients, obviously, they are the reasons for the existence of the healthcare organizations, and they are vital to what we do. And hence we put the patients first. The goal of any healthcare organization is to provide safe, effective, accessible, affordable, and high quality services to our patients to ensure their safety and satisfaction. People, they are the next, the people. The employees are the blood of any organization who make the purpose to touch lives and transform care possible. Hence, we should always strive to make the team members feel appreciated, motivated, and inspired by making a safe and conducive work environment. Third comes the public. The goal is to provide a healthy living in the community and well-being in our communities by providing a high-quality healthcare services and also through health education and literacy programs. Planet, the fourth one, which constitutes for the economic sustainability. The slowing the climate change is the need of the hour. We should charter our sustainability roadmap with the aim to minimize our carbon print and waste. The strict measures should be taken to minimize our environmental footprint and decrease our operations impact on the environment. We should focus on to protect our planet and wider community. One should focus on efficient consumption of natural resources and also the appropriate management of generated waste. The organization, the fifth pillar of the sustainability. The institutions should operate ethically and need to follow all applicable legislations and industry practices throughout the organization. Hence, any health organization must have a robust, coherent sustainability approach and strategies to make a positive impact on our patients, people, public, planet, and to the organization. The healthcare organization always should strive to provide excellent care and outcomes to the patients, total well-being and development for our people, giving back to the communities in which we operate while protecting the one and the only planet. That's our hope. For an effective sustainability approach, the institutions should have a robust governance structure and strategies, which is to be guided by the top leadership team with clearly defined rules of lines of accountability for the sustainable development. This approach, when it's have a comprehensive framework, which are all embedded with the sustainable values, and that can support the United Nations sustainable agenda and goals, as well as the 5 sustainability pillars and policy, which I mentioned earlier. And when we implement such sustainable policy, the materiality assessment needs to be conducted thoroughly to identify our material sustainability matters. First, then establish and implement the sustainability policy. Third, establish the key performance indicators and key result areas. Develop a sustainability roadmap and action plan. Then increase the priority of health and safety related material matters. Integrate sustainability across all operations. Align United Nations Sustainable Development Agenda goals and 5 sustainability pillars. Conduct materiality assessment periodically to ensure the relevance of material sustainability matters and review it periodically. Thereby, I conclude saying that the healthcare institutions can achieve the real purpose of touching lives and transforming care by empowering our patients, inspiring our people, nurturing a healthier society while protecting our planet. Healthcare services need to become significantly more proactive in leading the transformation to net zero carbon emissions. The transformation to net zero will build climate resilience and sustainability into our services that will reduce the burden on hospitals and health systems and thereby improving the quality of life and health for all. And initially, I was mentioning about the 2 major challenges for in which I am very passionate towards the healthcare sustainability, for which I have innovated few innovative concepts which have been presented in international conferences hosted by IIM. Just I like to add few lines into it, and I would like to conclude it. And it was a 4-dimensional music model, and which is known as in supply chain. That is a multi-unit selective inventory control technique, which is the only approach that constitutes all the 3 sustainability aspects: social, economic, and environmental sustainability. Generally, it is so far it was spread as a 3-dimensional approach, which constitutes only to social and economic to a certain extent, whereas this approach addresses all the 3 sustainability aspects, and which helps the institution to make affordable and sustainable. This by implementing this 4D music approach, there's a huge reduction in cost savings, and there's a reduction in general waste by around 25%, and the inventory handling costs and material handling costs is reduced to a greater extent, and thereby it can make a very huge significant impact in reduction of the expenditure, and also in reduction of the medical waste, which are all generated daily, which is one of the major challenges that every institution is facing. Initially, I was mentioning that it is estimated that 4.4% is greenhouse gas emissions from healthcare services. So, by implementing such innovative approaches, the healthcare can be made accessible, affordable, and more sustainable. I thank you very much for providing me this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Vinod. In fact, the perspective that you brought from the social perspective, and then the way you have blended with the socio-economic concepts, and then reflected upon your experiences is definitely inspiring. And I'm sure the audience definitely would have picked great learnings. Now, if at all you have any questions, those who are viewing this online, please feel free to put them on the comment box. We will pick them and shoot these questions to the speakers. Now, without much delay, let me invite Mr. Nixon Joseph, the Chief Executive Officer of Children's Love Castles Trust India, to talk about the great topic on, can CSR really help achieve SDGs? Before I hand this over to him, let me quickly introduce Mr. Nixon Joseph for you. He was earlier the president of SBI Foundation before joining Children's Love Castles Trust as its CEO. With more than 36 years of experience in various senior management positions, especially with the State Bank of India, he was instrumental in bringing out the green banking policy and carbon credit policy of SBI. Talk of the town today, the carbon credit policy. As President, SBI Foundation brought high social impact programs supporting SDGs under his regime. He is also honored as COVID Warrior by the Honorable Governor of Maharashtra. He took keen interest in promoting inclusivity by promoting the Center of Excellence for Persons with Disabilities, with the aim to remove barriers to employability of persons with disability. Participated in all the SBI Green Marathons to promote the concept of sustainability. So without much ado, let me present Mr. Dixon Joseph, CEO, Children Love Castles Trust, to you. And let's all be lost in the wisdom that he's going to throw at us. Thank you very much, Mr. Nixon, and the stage is all yours.
Thank you, Rajiv, for that introduction. And I thank GCPIT and Mr. Santosh for having me here. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all those who are have logged in from various parts of the world. The topic given to me is whether CSR will help in achieving sustainable development goals. Corporate social responsibility and the sustainable development goals are buzzwords in the business world. Corporate social responsibility has been defined in various ways. I consider that corporate social responsibility encompasses various factors like sustainability, ESG, ethics, corporate governance. All these come under the corporate social responsibility. But more often, we consider corporate social responsibility as the initiatives taken by the corporate to better the society and the environment. CSR on a basic level is donating money or philanthropic activity, but this has short-term benefit. Strategic CSR has a long-term impact on social and environmental prosperity. So from the stage of philanthropic CSR, we have moved, the corporates have moved more or less into strategic CSR, where they are incorporating social environmental initiatives, their concerns for the planet, their concerns for all the stakeholders into their operations. So strategic CSR is of great relevance now. CSR is encouraging profit-driven business to transform into purpose-led organizations. So most of the corporates have now understanding that more than focusing on profit, they all should move into purpose-driven organizations. And that is happening gradually. Sustainable Development Goals, as we all know, was approved by almost 193 countries in 2015. It was around that time in India also, the corporate social responsibility was made mandatory. If we see globally also, CSR evolved with sustainable development initiatives. Together, CSR and SDGs can provide a powerful model for sustainable growth. SDGs provide a framework that can be leveraged by government bodies, corporates, civic societies, and individuals. Participation of each of these sectors, government, private sector, NGOs, individuals, all these are important or vital to achieve sustainable development goals. Whereas in the case of corporate social responsibility, the pressure is on corporates to drive change through CSR strategies. India made a very big leap when in 2015, the Companies Act was amended and corporate social responsibility was made mandatory. Whether CSR will lead to achievement of sustainable goals, I will tell yes. Because even in the Indian context, where the government has laid down areas where corporates should initiate activities to qualify as CSR. We find there is a lot of overlapping between these areas mentioned in the Companies Act and those upheld by the Sustainable Development Goals. In fact, both are in line. See, if you see the corporate social responsibility areas, it is eradication of hunger, poverty, malnutrition, promoting healthcare, sanitation, promoting education, women empowerment, gender equality, setting up old age homes, environmental initiatives, protection of flora and fauna, rural development projects, slum area developments, and renewable energy projects. We can see that all of these are aligned, or all these topics are covered in the Sustainable Development Goals as well. So if corporates are able to do or implement initiatives in accordance with the areas mentioned in Schedule 7 of the Companies Act, it will definitely lead to progress in Sustainable Development Goals. Each of the areas of CSR prescribed in the Companies Act can be linked to multiple SDGs. For example, the CSR, the Schedule 7, has to focus on education or eradicating poverty, hunger, malnutrition, promoting preventive healthcare, and sanitation. But this can be correlated to SDG 1, no poverty, SDG 2, zero hunger, SDG 3, good health and well-being, SDG 6, clean water and sanitation. Similarly, CSR in Schedule 7, it focuses on promoting education and vocational skills, special education for the aged, differently abled. It correlates with SDG 1, no poverty, SDG 2, zero hunger, SDG 4, quality education, SDG 8, decent work, etc. So we can find that most of the areas which the government has told to be focused by corporates for their corporate social responsibility activities can be easily tagged to Sustainable Development Goals. And even outside India, many of the corporates are doing socially responsible activities, and all of them are either improvement in the internal functioning of the corporate or external functioning, taking care of the societies around, environment, etc. And all these are interlinked with SDGs. So if corporates are able to implement programs in the true spirit of the law, Sustainable Development Goals, it will be easy to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals. Another aspect which I like about Sustainable Development Goals is it gives definite targets, also indicators. Then it becomes very easy to monitor whether the projects being implemented are taking us towards achievement of Sustainable Development Goals. In fact, this will have an impact on the projects being implemented by corporates. Earlier, corporates used to implement the projects and forget about it. Now, more focus on whether it is leading to a change, leading to achievement of Sustainable Development Goals, etc., is being focused. That's why when at the Companies Act, it has been amended and told that impact studies of CSR projects have to be done. This will be a good measure to know that whether the projects being implemented will be leading to achievement of Sustainable Development Goals. I conclude by telling that on an average around 15,000 crores of funds are coming into the corporate sector. If these projects, if the programs being implemented with these funds are scalable, replicable and sustainable projects, then Sustainable Development Goals would be easily achieved in India. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Nixon. I think it cannot be better concluded in the way other than the words that you just mentioned, that if at all we bring the entire CSR into the SDG funding of India, all the SDG goals of the country are easily achieved. Absolutely. I think this is a great call for all the MNCs as well as the big business players to consider this in a very strong perspective. And at this point of time, as I say thanks and then say adieu to Mr. Nixon Joseph, let me introduce Choice Amator, who is the founder and CEO of Incio BD Company Limited from Ghana. The topic of today for her is impact of climate change on agriculture and food supply, especially during the times where every country is grappling for food security. Every country is trying to bring a lot more technology, innovation, and efficiency into the entire supply chain. Very interesting to hear from Ms. Joyce on this particular topic. And let me introduce the speaker for you tonight. Ms. Joyce Amator Horvi has 12 years of working experience in the public sector, spanning across diverse areas such as development banking, investments in the industry, agriculture industry, and the hospitality industry. She is the founder of an agribusiness company which is into production of crops such as maize, ginger, yams, coffee, and coconut, adding value to ensure sustainable food security. She is also a council member of the Chartered Institute of Credit Management Ghana Governing Council. Without much ado, let me introduce and let me invite Ms. Joyce to enlighten us with her words of wisdom from her depths of experience. Thank you very much. And the stage is yours, Joyce, and welcome.
Thank you very much. Thank you for inviting me to be part of this insightful session of the 2022 Global Sustainable Development Summit to speak on the topic. But then I would want to share my page because I have some slides to show. Okay, so thank you very much. As I said, I will be speaking on the impact of climate change on agriculture and food supply in Ghana. I would like to highlight on okay, so I would like to highlight on the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. The agenda, as we know, is universal, transformative, and rights-based. Hold on. I'm having some technical challenges here. Okay, so yes, I'm back. Yeah, so yes, so the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. This agenda is universal, transformative, and rights-based. It is the most comprehensive blueprint to date for eliminating extreme poverty, reducing inequality, and protecting the planet. Now, importance of agriculture to Ghana's economy. Agriculture is among the three major sectors of Ghana's economy, and it is acknowledged as the mainstay of the economy. The share of agriculture in Ghana's gross domestic product in 2021 was 19.7%. Ghana also earns agricultural export earnings of 476 million, which contributes to 14.3% of total NTE earnings in the year under review, which is 2021. Now, overview of Ghana's agricultural system. Ghana's agricultural growth largely results from expansion of area of production and increase in productivity of existing land. Smallholder farmers constitute the largest segment of production, and they mostly cultivate land sizes of 2 hectares or less. There is a need to increase land size since population keeps increasing, and then there is loss of arable land due to the expansion. Now, challenges facing the agricultural sector in Ghana: lack of better infrastructure. Better infrastructure such as irrigation, accessible roads, rural electrification at farm sites, improper markets, lack of R&D, improper market structures, and the like, infrastructure that is not available for smallholder farmers in Ghana. Also, lack of equipment and machinery. Equipment such as tractors and other implements, such as combine harvesters, seeders, and the like, are not readily available for smallholder farmers to have access to prepare their land. Lack of inputs and technology, as well as facilities for storage, processing, and marketing of produce, is also a challenge facing smallholder farmers in Ghana. And then the technical know-how of farmers is also a challenge because most of these farmers are rural-based and do not have adequate information on the crops or the farms they undertake. Lack of agricultural finance is also a problem because of the risky nature of agriculture everywhere in the world. Now, the effect of climate change on agriculture in Ghana. Ghana's agricultural production is already being adversely affected by increase in climate variability, which results in rising temperatures, a greater frequency of dry spells and droughts, rising sea levels, land degradation and erosion of arable land, intermittent floods, and resulting infrastructure damage. Loss of soil also due to deforestation, which affects biodiversity, which affects the yield of crop. Now, as climate change impacts on agriculture intensify, it has become increasingly difficult to grow crops, raise animals, manage forests, and catch fish in the same ways and in the same places as we have done in the past. Therefore, with these challenges posing as a threat on our supply chain of food, it is necessary that research and development should be enhanced, whereby we will have improved inputs, and then also inputs such as seeds that are high yielding, and then pest and disease resistance, and then also optimal application of fertilizers and other agricultural chemicals. Now, mechanization of smallholder farms will be needed because most of these farms are being done using hard labor, and this makes it very difficult to undertake farming. And most of the people are trying to shy away from farming since you put in more energy, more money, and you do not get better yield out of it. Therefore, there is a need to mechanize, to help them to be able to mechanize their farms. Now, irrigation. We need to augment water supply on farms. Now, climate change has affected the weather patterns in Ghana. It is difficult now to predict as we used to do in the olden days or the traditional method of farming. If you want to depend on the predictions that we used to do, then of course you are going to fail because the time you expect the rains to come, the rains may fail you. Therefore, there is a need for us to augment the water supply that we get with irrigation. And the final thing I will say is that technology is also very important. I believe that the use of AI methods such as precision agriculture to monitor crop moisture, soil composition, and temperature in growing areas will help to increase yield. Now, mitigation and adaptation to climate change in Ghana's agricultural sector. Reduction in post-harvest losses of food is estimated that, we need to reduce post-harvest losses of food. It is estimated that food wastage is responsible for an estimate of 6% of the total global greenhouse gas emissions. We should also adopt improved and sustainable land, water, fisheries, and forestry management. Now, the last one, which is the access to climate finance, is very, very, very urgent, and we need the finance to help us to leverage on larger flow of public and private funding for sustainable agriculture. In conclusion, food is such a basic need, a fundamental right, and such a simple pleasure to eat. Therefore, there is a need for all of us to put our hands together and make sure that climate change will be mitigated, and then food supply will not be affected. Together, we will raise awareness of climate change and how it affects our food systems. We will also continue to engage the society through publications, educational programs, and launch of climate action projects within communities in Ghana. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Joyce, for bringing such interesting insights from Ghana, right? And due to the paucity of time, it's time for me to introduce my co-host. I'm sure she has already introduced herself, Ms. Dawn, to this forum. And from here on, she would take over. Thank you very much. And once again, good morning, good evening to all the different participants and panelists joining from across the world. Let me appreciate the great, I would say, contribution you're doing to the global sustainable development, and your efforts are definitely, I would say, are going to create impact to this world. Thank you very much, and handing it over to Ms. Dawn Hang. Great evening, all of you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Rajib. So thank you so much for starting this very engaging morning, afternoon, and evening session. Yeah, so from now on, I will take this opportunity to actually introduce our next speaker, Anirudh Thoboli, a young professional with a keen interest in sustainability reporting, scope 1, 2, and 3, circular economy, carbon counting, GHG reporting, and resource efficiency in plastic waste management, sector implementing various tools to manage sustainable development, sectors where he is willing to work with your organizations for the fields related to the ESG reporting, consulting, and other opportunities can be related to sustainability reporting, research studies, stakeholder management, and preparing of documentations. So today he will actually touch on this very interesting topic on formalizing the plastic recycling industry in order to maintain the circularity of the plastic materials and even increasing the resource efficiency. Hand over to you, our plastic engineer, Anirudh Thoboli. Welcome.
Yeah, he is online. Just wait, let me come back.
Meanwhile, while waiting, maybe we can talk about a bit more on plastic recycling. So as a young professional, I guess it is actually a very important role for our generations to start to pick up the skill sets of ESG, so that when the time comes, we will be able to actually move on and execute the SDG goals mission in a more effective and efficient manner.
I think he's not available. Let's go to the next speaker, Ms. Sucheta.
Okay, yeah, so unfortunately, he's not available. Okay, yeah, okay, let's move on to Sucheta Akreya, first generation entrepreneur, thoughtpreneur, so as to say, with innovation and concept, founder, Baby Prince, managing director at Soya Enterprises, on board with 3 women entrepreneurs associations at Maharashtra, Telangana, and Pan India. A business strategist, result-oriented, persuasion, determination, self-motivated international speaker, a proud mother of 2 daughters. Today, she will actually discuss on cooperatives for sustainable fashion. Let's welcome Sucheta Akreya, co-founder, Sokia Enterprises, country chairperson, Global Alliances for Sustainable Fashion India. Sucheta, over to you.
Thank you so much, Dawn, for such a wonderful introduction of mine. Thank you, GCPIT, for giving me this opportunity to talk on the sustainable fashion and cooperatives. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This might be a coincidence or planned. We are discussing this meet just around after the completion of the G20 summit, and more importantly, after India took over as the presidency of G20. Leaders of these countries committed support to strong, sustainable, balanced, and inclusive growth. Now, that to me is the foundation for this topic, cooperatives in sustainable fashion. Let me tell you about what exactly we do. I'm Sucheta Acharya, founder of Baby Prints, managing director, CEO at Sokia Enterprises. We are baby apparels and furnishings manufacturing company. It specializes in using the natural fibers as its core raw material. We prefer procuring the fibers, fabrics directly from the weavers. We use natural colors to design our fabrics through hand block printing and hand screen printing. We are a zero wastage company, which puts us in front row when we talk about operation excellence. Women's sustainability needs to expand beyond the fibers and fabrics that make the garments to the very structure of the companies which cultivate, create, and produce the fashion. For long-term and comprehensive solution, there is a need for the socially responsible organization structures to lead the revolution, and that is where the cooperative structure comes into the picture. Recently, the Indian Prime Minister Sri Narendra Modi has laid out the vision of prosperity through cooperatives, Sahakar Se Samriddhi, and a separate ministry at the central government to organize and regulate the cooperatives. Now, this big initiative shows the role and importance of the cooperatives in Indian industry as a whole. A cooperative society, as we know, is, to put simply, is a voluntary association of the individuals having common needs to achieve the common economic goals. Now, when these societies first came up, the sole objective was to serve the interest of the poorer sections of the society through the principles of self-help and mutual help. The principles of cooperative often stand for the democracy, equality, and solidarity. For example, most of the agricultural productions like cotton, jute, banana, and other natural fibers is done by small farmers, and even up to the ginning of the fiber is done at the local level. When carried by the individual farmers, often we see the individual farmers competing amongst themselves and being exploited by the traders, resulting in low earnings and product losses and weak bargaining powers among others. Now, to respond these challenges, the farmers have established producer cooperatives, allowing their members to benefit the economies of the scale in accessing the inputs and the marketing products, sharing the equipment, land and space, and establishing the collective voice for increased bargaining power in the market, resulting in the socio-economic good. Similarly, in the textile production, the producer cooperatives of artisans are involved in weaving and spinning of the textile of the markets. At least in Indian scenario, we have established cooperatives at the traditional weavers almost in each state, which actually helps the weavers to fulfill their socio-economic needs. In apparel production, though it is primarily the worker cooperatives are usually invisible in a fragmented network of the intermediaries, the subcontracted factories are outsourcing to them. Now, home-based workers have been forming the cooperatives to benefit from the social and economies of the scale in accessing the finances and negotiating better rates, per piece rates from the intermediaries. The fact that the cooperative is owned and controlled by its members or owners allow the worker members to participate in decision-making, to interact with the authorities, to solve the challenges that informal workers face, such as infrastructure or transportation. Therefore, the primary advantage of adopting the cooperative structure is to derive the economies of the scale and bargaining power to get the returns to the small holding farmers and therefore a social good. Now, success stories of Casa Flor of Women Weavers Cooperative, Guatemala or Seva from India should motivate us to take this particular mission forward. Now, the best example is the British retailer John Lewis, is based on cooperatives. Now, we all must recognize that cooperatives is the sustainable fashion. In sustainable fashion is an immediate need of an hour and can be worked upon to achieve the social goals. So can we resolve? Each enterprise sets a target to reach at least 50% of the alternative fiber by 2025 and take the credible action. Secondly, towards this, we set up a support of cooperatives and source the raw material or semi-finished goods and be the champion of the social cause. Thirdly, the fashion brands to come up for such certification of the sustainability. And fourthly, we have a definite range of the fashion that support the cooperatives and the sustainability. Now, since all of us are end consumers here of the fashion, concrete and definite actions are need of the hour. And I'm sure actually you all agree to this part of this much needed revolution. Thank you so much. Thank you again, GCPIT, for giving me such a wonderful opportunity. Over to you, Dawn.
Thank you so much, Sujeta. Thank you so much for sharing with us. We have gained much insights in sustainable fashion today. Thank you so much. Yeah, okay, right now we will go back to Anirudh, who is back on the stage. Hi, you there? Yeah, hi, welcome.
Yes, thank you so much. First of all, greetings to all of you, and hope you all are safe and doing great. Firstly, I'm really sorry I was in between some meetings, so couldn't just finish the meeting fast. First of all, I would like to say thanks for this great opportunity for Mr. Santosh and GCPIT and having me here, everyone. Today I will be discussing about formalizing plastic recycling sector to attain the sustainable development goals and increase the resource efficiency. So I would just like to share my screen so that I can share. Can I share my screen?
Yes, Anirudh.
Yeah. Is it visible?
Yes.
Okay. Oh. Yes. So
you can put this up into slideshow mode.
Is it better now?
No, not slideshow. Can you just click on the slideshow button? On the PDF,
Oh,
go to the top menu. There is slideshow. Don't go to that shortcut. Go to the top menu and do it. Now, the first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth. No, no.
I'm sorry.
Correct.
Yeah,
Yes.
got it
Yeah, the first one from the beginning.
from the beginning. I got it. Okay. Is
But
it visible?
no, I think it's not. It's easy. Okay, it's not working. Anyhow, proceed. Anirudh, your video is off and presentation is also off.
Underwater. And you can like we all are seeing.
Anirudh, your
yeah.
presentation is not visible.
Just give me a second. I will share again.
Yeah.
Then yeah.
Yes, absolutely fine. Proceed with, start from the beginning so that it goes well. Anirudh, you are on mute.
I hope everything is fine now.
No.
Yes.
Can you just
Yes.
put this up into, yes, now fine. Absolutely. Proceed.
Okay. So yeah, so we all are going through a lot of amount of information from social media and all over LinkedIn that ocean plastic is increasing and the plastic is in like dumped all across the landscapes and things like that. So how we can increase the recycling and we can formalize this recycling sector and increase the sustainable development goals. So these are some of the goals which we can attain by formalizing the plastic recycling sector. So it's what I want to say by formalizing is there is a plastic recycling sector in place, but it is not efficiently managed, not sustainably managed. So to manage it sustainably, we need to have some sort of standard operating procedure, or we should have some auditing, some reportings, and things like that. So there are many companies who are doing this, but there is not a lot of like a lot of recyclers are not aware of this, and they just do it for their just to earn a bit of money at the end of the day. So I will start with giving you an overall. So overall, there is a whole huge market of waste management. From waste management, there are two sectors: post-industrial waste and post-consumer waste. From that, we have various waste management sectors. I have mentioned it here on the left side. So from that, if we narrow down, we are focusing on the plastic recycled granules, or you can say recycling of plastic. So globally, the market has reached up to like US dollar 439 billion, and it's with the growth rate of 3.7%. So by the end of this decade, we can imagine like the quantum of this plastic waste generation would reach around 910.81 billion. So why I am mentioning all this, and specifically to India, because the Asia Pacific region dominates the market sector of plastic recycling with 44.87%. And there are various things I would like to discuss openly, like plastic waste has been exported by the Western countries, and this uh, this plastic waste has been imported in Asian countries like Thailand, Indonesia, Philippines, India, and there are still a lot of restrictions going on, but this practice is still going continuously. the issue is not the Asian countries are not having that big amount of like recycling infrastructure or capacity to handle this amount of waste. So what plastic recycling will impact on what kind of sectors it will impact if we sustainably manage to do this plastic recycling. So firstly, the increasing crude oils and carbon emission, because of plastic has been a petrochemical product from years, like it's just a byproduct, and we use it from the crude oil industry. So as the crude oil industry's price is getting up day by day, we can see the polymer raising price also getting up. So like the recycled plastic is comparatively cheaper, and we can like there are tools in place such as EPR and things kept mandatory by government to take some amount of authority to manage this circularity. uh, we everywhere we can see like there is abundance of plastic waste. I don't know much about other countries, to be very honest, but I have seen it in Thailand, in Japan, in India. Like there is quantum amount of plastic waste being generated, and unless it is not been reused or recycled properly, it's been getting ended up either burnt or either in the landscape. So here there is a requirement, like there is a need for this sector to be supported by government, and I have mentioned some of the few points that I have to go with. Like I have done a lot of research in this field, so I have done my personal surveys, I have done my like research thesis on recycling industry in India and Asian countries. So I have some amount of data which I can present it here, but I will not make it too like too bombarding on you, like a lot of amount of data. So just we'll keep it some a bit of little like data perspective as well as understanding. So there is high demand for the plastic products, so we can understand why we need polymers in daily life. From having brush, we use it for our switches and things like that. Even the desk I'm sitting, it's made up of plastic. So yeah. What is the current business model of plastic? So what I have mentioned here is just in India, but in most of the countries, this practice is very similar. Like Indonesia, I'm very much specific to Asian countries because I have a bit amount of data about it, but I don't know much more about European and Western countries. So yeah, the business model consists of three stages, like collection, segregation, sorting, and then recycling. So this collection and segregation sorting has been done by informal sector. Most of them, they say it is formalized, like they are paying the taxes and things like that. But when I did my personal surveys, most amount of people were doing it informally, like uh, not many environmental concerns were taken care of and things like that. So what instruments? So here I have mentioned specific example to India, like recently when this plastic scrap market was like taken control by GST, like paying the taxes for this recycling industry. In 2007, suddenly the recycling rate went such down that at times people were willing to buy virgin plastic more than recycled plastic because of the amount of like taxation they have to pay over it. And once the government came to know about it, they started reducing the taxes and things like that. So what is here the key like key point, I can say, like key indicator where we can get into the market, like why recycling is important and things like that, and how we can make it into a sustainable thing. Uh, I will show you how other companies, industries are playing with sustainability at the same time plastic recycling. They are having this both unique combination, and they are really doing it very well. So, like as I mentioned, like there's a growth rate of 3.8% per year all over globally, and if you see it's very specific to Asia, it is 5.8%. So like anyone if interested in data, like I have a lot of amount of data, you can reach me out later on. So Yes, so how to formalize plastic recycling industry? So according to the suggestions from government policymakers, from the industry, um, from the informal sectors like the rag pickers and things like that, waste workers, and I have collected this certain amount of data which represents what is the necessity for recycling industry, plastic recycling industry, and how we can make it environmentally sustainable, like not deteriorating our environment. At the same time, we are able to recycle maximum amount of plastic waste entering in our waste stream. Like Indorama, I mentioned, like there are industries who are working very well. So Coca-Cola and Indorama is having a great partnership in Philippines, in Thailand, even in India. They are doing really great in terms of PET bottle recycling and managing the sustainable goal. There are some countries in Europe, like companies in Europe, they are focusing on recycling, standard recycling. There is Ravago. Ravago is all across the world, like in 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 African countries, in South Africa, even in Russia and other countries as well. So raw materials, this is an academic institution where they focus on, like increasing the resource efficiency. Whatever amount of plastic waste we are having, we just circulate it in a way that we use it as a raw material. And these are the recommendations from my research. So like from policy making, we can reduce the taxes and we can include the informal sector. We can, if we are able to formalize this sector, then it's going to be really good industry to work upon in sustainable field. And there are various designing like R&D we can do with alternative packaging options, like collection, like buyback, and ongoing compaction trucks and adhesives and things like that. So it's very much technical, and I just have, I guess, 2 to 3 minutes left. So yeah, this is digital portal. In India, they are trying to manage things digitally as countries, like as generations passing on, everyone wants to get digitalized. So there is an authentication. There are number of recyclers, brand owners, producers, importers. They are getting like registered, and from now the data will be recorded. And this is with help of CPCB, Control Pollution Board of India, and GIZ India. So these are some of the key indicators, policy instruments, how we can manage with the help of policies and with the help of public awareness tools. So if we are able to implement these things, it will be very easy to attend plastic recycling and waste management sector in a sustainable way. So these are some of the goals that I mentioned earlier. So industry, innovation, and infrastructure. As I mentioned, there is very lack of infrastructure in place to manage the input of the amount of plastic waste entering. So only 40%, I guess 9%. There is a data from Ellen MacArthur, like there is 9% of plastic being recycled across the globe. So we need infrastructure at place. Capacity building is required, and this comes under the Sustainable Development Goal number 9. 12, sustainable, like responsible consumption and production. If we are able to responsibly manage and circulate the plastic waste in a way, then we don't have to depend much upon raw materials coming from the crude oil. So like we can manage demand easily. Also climate action, like there are various researchers who can easily claim, like because of plastic pollution, the climate change is being impacted, like the climate change is increasing at a faster level. So one such example is also life below water, because if plastic is floating all across the ocean, the marine ecosystem under the water don't get the sunlight and they are unable to breed and things like that. So the whole corals and things have been dead. There are very clear evidences all across the world, Indian Ocean, even in Great Pacific Patch, we have seen a lot of researches. So life on land, of course, like if we see piles of waste dumping all across, all across the city. So I guess there are very big examples in Indonesia as well. There was landslide of this plastic waste, and I guess 140 people died. So these are some of the examples that really we should like be responsible, more accountable for this kind of incidents. And lastly, like partnership for these goals, to attain these goals. So collaborative efforts between the countries, like Japanese government is helping Asian countries to educate their people to work on this recycling sector and things like that. So yeah, we are going at the right track, and I guess we will attain the sustainable way to manage this waste. So this is how we, like, the waste is segregated at the informal sector and the formalized sector. I have collaged it all together. You can see the differences where it is sorted at a conveyor belt, and at the other end, informal sector, they are sorting it with manual hands and things like that, without any safety, without any environmental concerns. So thank you so much for your time and attention. Like, we need to be accountable again. I already mentioned it. So thank you so much. If anyone has some question, anyone wants to reach me out, you can reach me out through LinkedIn. And sorry for any like disturbance and all. Thank you.
No worries. Thank you so much, and thank you so much. I really think that we really need to do a bit more for plastic recycling, because like what he has mentioned earlier, I guess this is a part that we can develop over from 2023 onwards. Okay, so right now, continuing the waste management, we invite our next speaker to discuss on the topic systematic waste prevention and its impact on global development across the industries, regions, countries, by Michael Reda, founder and CEO, International Business Center of Sustainable Development, Czech Republic. But before I hand over to Michael, let me do an introduction of Michael first. So Michael is actually the founder of International Business Center of Sustainable Development Concept and Industry. IBCSD is actually the first global platform aiming the industrial surplus and overproduction. At the same time, it is also the first global application of logistics efficiency design principles. So without further ado, I will just welcome Michael to share with us on his insights.
Thank you very much, Dawn, for the introduction.
Thank you.
And I would like to take you all to the wasteless world. My name is Michael Reda, and I'm human. And I'm the founder of Industry 5.0 as well. And who are you? Are you speaker? Are you chairman? Are you manager or president? Maybe you are a student, and for sure you are or you will be father or mother. But with all of that, you forget one. You are a human being. You are a living one, not like this man on County out of Pilsen Brewery. And if you know who you are.
Hello?
Yes?
I am a foreigner.
My question is, where do you live?
Nigeria.
I live in a beautiful place. It's called the Blue Marble. And unfortunately, people who has born later do not live on this because the planet is covered with environmental damage. So do we live in a wasteful or in a wasteless world? So let's see. 23 million metric tons a day, which are 8 billion tons a year of crop and food, is being wasted every year. Because we waste 75% of all crop and food which we plant and produce. before the second stage of production. 85 to 92% of all data stored in data centers are waste because they will be not used anymore. 347 million liters of drinking water are being spoiled just by California crude oil industry every single day. 170 million pieces of space debris, space trash, is on a landfill which was created in few decades above our heads. $43 billion has been spent to purchase just one social network. $851 billion has been spent on carbon emission vouchers just in 1 year. And a few days ago, the global population counter hit for the first time in history 8 billion. We have been told to wait. We have been told to turn the heating down. We have been told to trust the politician that they will solve the issues. We have been told that Google, Siri, Wikipedia know all the answers. We have been told that digital and virtual is the future. We have been told that the new mobile is better than the old one. We have been told we need and must have social media accounts. We have been told that young is better than old. We have been told not to worry. They lied to us. I was born on December 24th, 1971. At the time, the planet was called the blue marble, but in 2019, it does not seem blue anymore because of the environmental damage. But then in 2020, something very strange happened, which nobody expected. Not because the humans changed their behavior, but because a virus locked us down. He locked us down on a planet around which we have created a landfill. He locked us down on a planet on which we know only one criteria of success, which is more money, more people, more companies, more businesses, more cars. Ask Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, Bill Gates. Ask everyone in Fortune 500 list how they get to the list. We are living on a planet together with 8 billion people, not knowing that 200 years ago it was just 1 billion. 100 years ago, 1.5 billion, which means we have more than 5 times more people living on the planet despite 2 world wars, 2 world pandemics, and more than 650 local war conflicts. And in 2050, some predict there should be 11 billion people living on the same planet. We are living here in 206 countries, speaking 7,000 languages. We are riding 1 billion car and we let 9 million people die hungry despite the fact that we throw away more than 23 million metric tons of food every single day. We let 800,000 people die thirsty, despite the fact that only California crude oil industry consumes 347 million liters of drinking water every single day. We plant our food to throw it away because the leaves are not green enough for the buyer in a chain store. We put our overproduction in a rivers and on a landfills not to spoil the market price. We carry our water in firefighting tanks, not knowing that the same amount of water is needed to produce just one and simple hamburger. We work and we do it on a planet where 1 sip of water can save not 1, but 2 lives. We work in a factories which walls lined with environmental certificate, and behind the walls, the same companies create a landfill. The companies store their obsolete packaging, waiting till it becomes waste. We throw away materials and products which do not fit one, but can serve great hundreds and thousands of others. We are listening to the words of World Bank, which says that till 2050, the waste volumes will grow, despite the fact that almost everything can be reused or repurposed. In fact, only 13.5, as the official number is being repurposed. This is what made the waste industry the 3rd most profitable industry in the world, following the war industry and the crude oil industry. You know, we have been told to listen, but I did not follow the advice. I created Industry 5.0, the first industrial evolution ever led by man, by human, based on the principles of systematic waste prevention, recognizing and preventing 5 types of waste: physical, social, urban, process, and the wasting of time. It was launched on December 1st, 2015, but already 2 years earlier, I started my work by implementing it. I have prevented, and the network has prevented, more than 1 million metric tons of products to become waste. It connected 111 countries already, giving the access to 90% of global human population. We have made one big mistake in the past. We built our future on the top of a pyramid, not understanding that the pyramid has not been built for the living ones to live inside, but to store corpses inside. I realized that in 2010, and I started to build another groundstone, a groundstone which will be stable no matter how much the economy, industry, or the planet will shake. How does it work? It's not easy. Firstly, you have to recognize that something must not become waste. And if you do so, even harder step is in front of you, because you have to reconsider what you will do with the item. And you can try, and you will fail for the first, second, maybe third time. But if you succeed, you will start to change the world. We can use a rope to deliver the change, but it depends on the way how we are using it. We can tie it in a circle, we can put people around, and we can ask them to pull or push. But unfortunately, the only thing which will move will be the circle, not the planet. Or we can ask and set up 17 goals. We can unthread it and make it 183 sub-goals, put the people around and ask them to push or pull. But when we don't tell them in which direction, how strong, the threads will break, and there will be no change delivered. Or we use the rope as it is, as a rope, using its primary function. We put the people around and we tell them exactly in which direction, in which takt time they should pull. And this is the way how we change the direction, how we change the future. I was speaker on the last conference in 2021. So let me share the progress which happened since then. The estimated value of Industry 5.0, global systematic waste prevention, grew from 475 trillion over $1 quadrillion a year. Waste prevention legislation was published globally in more than 111 countries. Industry 5.0 Strategic Alliance was launched on September 1st, 2022. The call to change the United Nations to United Humans was already delivered. More than 300 schools and universities receive a keynote and information about Industry 5.0 origin and principles. The entire development, there was no dependency on crypto or any external funding. Everything is fully scalable and adaptable because we respect 3 principles: transparency, profit sharing, and efficiency. Dear ladies and gentlemen, I spent 8 years to write a document which unfortunately is needed and does not exist anywhere in the world. It's the waste prevention legislation. And it is important to understand that there is no waste if we do not waste. And not a single legislation in the world defines how waste is being created, so it must be part of the legislation. And once again, please remember, wasting is not a feature of a product or material, but a result of human behavior. Industry 5.0 is the first industrial evolution ever led by man, by human. It is new mindset, people and businesses, from wasteful to wasteless. It delivers results without the need of capital investment and is based on the principles of systematic waste prevention applicable for industries. It utilized the rich on-the-ground minds about which many speakers spoke before, and is based on transparency, profit sharing, and efficiency. And please understand one, Industry 5.0 is not a sales tool or a product. It's a new global ecosystem which already exists here. And the age of Industry 5.0 in India started on August 21st, 2020 already. Dear ladies and gentlemen, we are living in the times when our work was digitalized. Our children, from one day to another, should switch to digital education. Our leisure time was digitalized long time ago, and which means the only what needs to be digitalized is the human himself. But if we do so, our home will look like this, and this is not a mistake, because data don't need any light. But more than a decade ago, I decided I do not want to live on the bottom of a black hole, and I decided to build another world, wasteless world. On January 1st, we started a 17 project for a global recovery of economy, industries, environment. Dear ladies and gentlemen, my name is Michael Rada. I am human. And don't worry, I am not alone. In the world exist 111 countries which accommodate already the gate to wasteless world through the Industry 5.0 ambassador. And the very first in the world was assigned in India on October 14th, 2020. Dear ladies and gentlemen, I would like to thank you for your time, because you gave me right now the most valuable asset of your life. I have chosen my way. Right now it's time for you to decide in which world you would like to live and which world you would like to hand over to the next generations. I have only one aim, wasteless world. Have a nice time, free of waste and wasting in all its forms. Stay safe and free. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you so much, Michael. Thank you so much for being such an inspired role model. And the new mindset that we have to take up is wasteless. Wasteless and wasteless. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much for your time. Okay, right now, after we have deal with and discuss about waste prevention and previously on plastic recycling, right now we will move back to sustainability issues. Let me invite Sanjita Robinson, a self-driven sustainability and communications practitioner with nearly 15 years in leadership positions. She leads ESG for PVR Cinemas and helps expand opportunities for open IT software, asset management solutions in India and South Asia. She's committed to helping to build sustainable businesses that grow responsibly. Without further ado, let her discuss with you on decoding sustainability, a communications perspective, by Sanjita Robinson, Chief Sustainable Officer, PVR Cinemas, Sustainability and Communications Practitioner, India. Hand over to you, Sanjita.
Hi, everyone. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning to each one of you, depending on where you join, what part of the world you join from. I am extremely grateful to the organizers of the Global Sustainability Summit 2022. I'm speaking on a subject matter which is quite close to my heart, because having been worked as both a sustainability and a communications professional, I'm able to draw a very strong relationship between the two. And that's what I would be sharing with you now. So just as a precursor to what I have to say, let's take a step back and see how sustainability has been defined over the years. From the 1987 United Nations Brundtland Commission's definition that defines sustainability as meeting the needs of the present generation without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs, to dividing it into three pillars: economic, environmental, and social, or profits, planet, and people. Many people, my generation, can relate to that because that's what that was the parlance that we popularly used. To today's popular acronym ESG, that's best characterized as a framework that helps stakeholders understand how an organization is managing risks and opportunities related to environmental, social, and governance criteria. While the term ESG is often used in the context of investing, stakeholders are not limited to the investment community. They also include customers, suppliers, employees, because all of them are increasingly interested in how sustainable an organization is. So, having said that, I would, of course, everybody is here would be familiar with this image. I just wanted to set the context because this is how broadly we would be implementing our sustainability in our various organizations. We would probably be working on 1 or 2 or 4 or 5 of these goals towards achieving the 2030 agenda. So now, if I come bring our discussion closer to the topic that I am trying to engage in, I would define communication, the relationship between communication and sustainability is as critical as the relationship of the backbone to a human body. And that's the kind of role it plays, because as we go on to subsequent slides, I will stress more on how this correlation actually is extremely critical in order to be able to go forward on the sustainability journey. Way back when United Nations Global Compact started its communication on progress, and many of the organizations that people in the early 90s started reporting on sustainability and the sustainability initiatives that they were undertaking in their organizations. They started their sustainability reporting journey with the UNGC's COP. And the very premise that this was built on was that most organizations were undertaking some or the other either social, environmental activities within the organization. But there wasn't a stipulated agenda, and it all depended on the passion of the leader at the top. So if the person at the top, the person leading the organization, did not believe that it was something that the organization needed to spend time, energy, and resources on, it was then put into a corner and paid no attention to. It was more of an internal matter. This was the first time that organizations were encouraged to go out there and put it in, make it a part of the public domain, where you would go and on an annual basis report how you were progressing on your on the 10 principles of UNGC. Frankly, this is how it all progressed, because you expressed your intent and then you affirmed it by going back and and writing about what you're doing internally, and that kind of enhanced your commitment, and you went subsequent years and reported on the progress you had made, and it was out there for everybody to see, and hence you could not retract your steps. And that was a commitment that you made to yourself and to relevant stakeholders, that this is what we are doing and this is where we are heading. So communication, thereby the rationale is that it kind of is almost like a supportive mechanism for sustainability. I've just listed out a few stakeholders. You could definitely add more, but why would one want to communicate? And why is it important? Well, you would want to communicate to your beneficiaries because you want to create awareness about what you're doing for them. In the company that I am representing, for example, we have a program that we've been working, apart from the other work that we're doing on sustainability. There's one flagship program that we are working on where we're making cinemas accessible for people with disabilities. So of course I would want my customers with disabilities and the elderly to know about this program and the fact that these are the cinemas that are accessible, these are the accessibility features, and etc. etc. The vendor suppliers, apart from pride in association, of course, for some of them it might be an added business opportunity. There could be new ones that are attracted to the opportunity, and opinion leaders. Of course, there's something to talk about a particular organization, which would then improve the image of your organization. Customers, there are proven studies to show that customers prefer to buy from organizations that are known to contribute positively to the environment, the society, and have good governance practices. Employees, of course, you want to attract good employees, and you want to retain them, and you want them engaged. So that set of stakeholders. Then your shareholders, enhanced value in the form of an organization that is committed to enhancing value for society, for the environment, has good governance practices, and thereby is there for a long haul, and thereby their investment is secure, and they would reap benefits from the association that they have with you. Media to create more further awareness, general public. I put that as a separate bucket of people who probably might not be associated with you today, but may get associated with you in the future because of these positive things that people have to say about you. And thereby, of course, enhancing your customer base, your getting good employees, attracting new employees, having people invest in your organization, and many other kinds of stakeholders. So now that we have established that it's important to communicate about sustainability and whatever you are doing within your organization, how do you go about doing it? So do you just relegate it to the communication department and let them do it and get on with your business as usual? No, you really don't, because bringing sustainability into conversations and discussions across the board is extremely important, because sustainability is not just the responsibility of the sustainability department. So when people ask me who my team is the entire organization, because unless and until I can get everybody thinking sustainably and acting sustainably, my work is not done. So making it a part of your planning and strategy. So when you're doing your budget planning, when you're doing your road ahead planning, are you accommodating for these aspects. For instance, we have a complete roadmap of how future cinemas need to be designed, and if there are infrastructural issues on the way, what are the assistive equipment that we would need to put into place to be able to overcome those infrastructural challenges. Investment in time, in terms of time and resources, without which there will be no conversations and there'll be nothing to communicate about. Understand the issues that can be addressed and build accordingly. So just taking back from saying, and I will keep correlating it to the accessible cinema program. It all started with conversations, and it all started with identification of certain issues that were there on ground that were then fed back to the organization from the cinemas, where they found that people with disabilities and the elderly found it extremely difficult to climb steps, and if they were on wheelchair, it was almost impossible to access, to come to the cinema and watch their favorite actors play out on screen. So they missed it, and they definitely that was a vacuum and a void, and we realized that we needed to work on. So it became an issue that needed to be addressed, and then processes and systems have been created to be able to address the issue. Leverage products and services to cater to issues. So you have existing products or services. So for instance, our app, how do we make cinemas that are accessible, discoverable easily? So customization was done, and you can see that there are cinemas that are marked with a wheelchair sign, and then you will see shows with wheelchair sign as well as subtitles, subtitling information. And these are the shows that are accessible. And then when you go into the auditorium level to book a seat, you can actually book a seat for yourself if you're on, if you need assistance, and for a companion. And these seats would remain blocked till somebody who needs it books it, or if or half an hour before the show. So basically, what I'm trying to emphasize is that you will need to, when you identify that issue, you will have to design your processes to be able to complement your efforts towards making that issue a reality. Build sustainable consciousness and train people and induct them. When we started this program, we realized that everything from the kind of words that were being used to the over enthusiasm to help, to not understanding a disability were a challenge, and we addressed all these through training and showed them what was the wrong way of dealing with the person with a certain kind of disability, and then showed them the right way to deal with it. So culture building is an extremely important aspect when it comes to sustainable value creation, because the organization needs to rally around the issue and be able to present it to the beneficiaries or the stakeholders in the manner that it's been envisioned. Ask the right questions and solve the right and give solutions for the right problems. Nurture a consumer consciousness. Avoid something to avoid greenwashing, and greenwashing is a terminology that has evolved in sustainability, and sustainability experts relate very well to this term. And there's a tendency of exaggerating, so don't exaggerate. Be honest and be upfront about what you're doing. Sustainability is a continuous journey. No matter where you are, there's always so much more to do. So you never have really arrived. So it's great that you're working on something, and it's okay to continue working on it, because you are on the journey of continuous improvement. tell your target group where you're heading. It's important to have a vision, a sustainability vision. And just correlating it again, we announced, PVR announced 50 accessible cinemas in 2018. We were going to make another announcement in 2020, but we were hit by the pandemic. And this year we are announcing the next 50, which takes the number to 100. And our next milestone is going to be one cinema in every city of our presence will be accessible. So it's important to be able to share your vision, build your brand with emotions that matter. Yes, of course. And if you understand what people would want you to be doing, and if you can connect the emotions with that brand, there's this greater brand salience that gets established. Stories are important because use storytelling, because your sustainability journey will affect people, and that's why I told you the PVR story. And it is definitely very inspiring. It might inspire other people to start their individual sustainability journey, and it's important to be able to share. So if you, in a holistic form, and as you saw, not just to be able to convey to stakeholders, but also to be able to take and enhance sustainability within your organization and make it a part of a cliched term, a part of your DNA. Communication cannot be separated from sustainability and vice versa, because I think they complement each other and strengthen each other. So that's all from me, and thank you very much. Have a good summit. All the best. Thank you.
Hi, thank you so much, Sanjita. I totally agree that sustainability programs are definitely not easy to carry out, as this is definitely a long-term and lots of conscientious effort has to be done to actually deliver these messages to our stakeholders and also garner their views on this, so that we can all work together to achieve our objectives to meet our sustainable goals. Okay, right now, I shall move on to our next speaker. She is going to discuss with us on getting yourself ready to eat milk-based foods by extrusion and solar drying technology. Soumya Medarapu, founder of Maner Nova Foods Delight Formulations. She has 16 years of work experience in health and food industry, work in government and private organizations. She has developed more than 120 products under her belt. trained and right now supporting rural urban women, students, women entrepreneurs, and farmers in different income generation activities. So without further ado, let me pass on the stage to Somia. Somia, please.
Yeah. Very good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all the participants. It's a great opportunity. Thanking you, Santoshji, for giving me this opportunity to sharing my experiences. So coming to my experiences, hope my screen is visible to you.
Yes, yes.
Okay. So let me put the sharing the screen.
Sure.
Hope I think it's fine.
Yes, we can all see your slides.
Okay. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Basically, myself, Soumya. So I'm the founder director of Millionaire Foods. So we have started our company in January 2018. So we are basically focusing on the millet-based balanced nutritional snacks. So by using the extrusion technology and solar drying technology. So all concepts are scientifically proven, and there is a scientific evidence. The combinations which we have used, in that way we have created the formulation. Our unique formulations, basically the absorption of the nutrition. In that way, we that focused very much, and we designed the formulations in that way. So you can get 20 to 25% of the recommended RDA, recommended dietary allowances, according to these kind of formulation when you have these kind of snacks. So let me share my few experiences. 1 minute. Yeah. So I worked in a different rural sector, government and private organizations. It was my first job was with working with the farming communities and rural youth. So it really was a great experience, and working with the farmers and women SHGs. I learned many aspects. As my first job, it was very much exciting. I learned many things, and I teach many income generation activities to the different women, rural women and rural youth. So almost we have tried 350. We connected with the multinational NGOs, and we connected almost 100 villages, and connecting with the rural youth, women and SHGs and Arogya Karyakartas, local level, cluster level meetings. We used to conduct many health-oriented programs and microcredit programs, and in different income generation activities and farmers trainings and method demonstrations, knowledge enhancement programs. All these programs we have involved, and we that really the grassroots level experience make me really a great satisfaction to my job. So after that I have moved to the slide is not moving. Slide.
Now you'll be getting bottom left corner. There is a button. If you click on that, bottom down, bottom. Correct. Now it's moving.
Now it's moving, sir. Yeah.
Right.
Okay. So another experience is this is one of the another experience. So I have involved in many food product technologies like extrusion technology. Basically the extrusion technology is a novel technology that will give the very good, commercial viability is very good. So the producers which we are taking from the farmers and other communities, we are converting different products by using this technology, the value creating different value added products by using this technology. We have developed many products. This is in my career, my experiences. This is one of the projects we could able to develop 120 products by applying different product technologies. So here this project we have collaborated with the DPT, Department of Biotechnology, and the Northeast Hill region communities. Here I have developed almost 120 product technologies. There, through Government of India, we have the technology transfers also done. Each women entrepreneur, which they have taken these technologies and they could able to sustain with their local resources. They could able to sell their products in the local communities, in the urban levels also. In that way, we have helped them to sustain their income generation. There are different technologies, osmotic dehydration technology, that mainly we used for the fruits and vegetables in developing the instant mixes. So we can fruits are very much perishable, so we can, with this technology, almost till 1 year we can could able to give the shelf life to the fruits. In that way, we can come up with the many products. In the commercial aspects, coming to the industrial experiences, after these product development and experiences, we have started our Millinova, and we are now in the commercial aspects, we could able to develop different millet-based snacks. So we always believe that we are taking there is a lot of gap in the food security and food consumption pattern. The balance is missing. That's what we have focused, the balanced nutrition in our products. Combining all the fruits, millets and vegetables in one product, we developed the balanced nutritional snacks. And also we have developed the energy bars and variant sports nutrition and breakfast immunity bars. Breakfast cereals like instant porridges and express fruits and the flakes. These are also coming in the R&D. These are the different product technologies. We transfer these product technologies and we published in many national and international journals our technologies. And in that way, this is one wing. This is a great experience with my career. With all these experiences, based on these all experiences, we could able to come up with the best product, the quality products through Millinova. So coming to the global problem, if you can see, the global lifestyle disorders are increasing. The almost 84% of the global population is suffering with the different kinds of malnutrition. If you can see, the 3 in 1 people, they are suffering with either overweight or obesity or underweight or any vitamin and mineral deficiency and non-communicable disease. So basically, this is happening due to the food imbalance. This imbalance is leading to the different kinds of lifestyle disorders. If we can see the children also, almost 80% of the children are attracting to the different kinds of junk foods. Now, so in the junk foods, we can call it as empty calories. They won't give any kinds of proteins and other nutrients, iron, zinc, vitamin A, and other antioxidants. These other nutrients are very much important now. So increasing all lifestyle disorders to controlling this, there are the balanced nutrition really plays very important role to reduce these kind of disorders. Here, and one more thing, the lifestyle disorders in India, we can see the diabetic, we can say the diabetic capital. In almost by 2030, we are expecting 79.4 million diabetic cases in India. So the food pattern, there is emergency, a need to change the food pattern. Dietary diversification is very much important. When we see the balance in the triangle, we see the balanced diet. The people now, they are focusing on only either calories or empty calories or low, heavy carbs. So in this place, in the cereals and millet, in the cereals category, if you can focus the complex carbohydrates that consists, millets are the good content of the complex carbohydrate. Complex carbohydrates definitely will reduce the different kinds of lifestyle disorders like diabetes, obesity, and other cancers. So according to the ICMR guidelines, the 5 to 6 servings of fruits and vegetables in the regular consumption, we can reduce the